Welcome, everyone. Let me know if you can hear me and if you can see my PowerPoint regarding this Cosmo Campfire. If someone can put if you can enter into the chat group on Zoom, if you hover over your Zoom settings here, let me know if you can hear me and if you can see my PowerPoint. Awesome. As we're waiting, I do have this short quiz that I want us to get started on. Um, If you do see our intro poll, this is just gonna let me know of if you can complete that, just helps me to know and better gauge where our users are at, how much experience you have with Mission Control and Salesforce. Just help me know your understanding of the app itself, and so that I can get a glimpse of where everyone's at on this call. So if you could just take a second to answer this quick poll, helps me to know your usage of the product or just Salesforce in general. I'll give you guys 30 seconds to complete that. Awesome. Thank you for doing so. If for any reason you guys don't hear me or don't see my screen, please let me know. You can enter that into the group chat as well. I mean, to the Zoom chat or the Q&A. You're welcome to submit any questions that you have in the Q&A chat as well. Thank you so much. Okay, we'll get started now. Yep, awesome. Thank you so much for letting me know and submitting that poll. That is really helpful. Awesome. I'll get that removed out of the way and then we can get started. Okay. I'll take a look at our chat every now and then. But welcome to our Cosmo Campfire, where we're focusing on a PERT Estimator tool today. This is a new feature within Mission Control pertaining to Mission Control version 1.8. This will be available at the end of the month, which will be automatically released to all production orgs. This is available currently as well, so you could download it from the App Exchange for the latest version and download it to your full sandbox. Test it out, make sure it works in your full sandbox, and then you can release it to your production org at any time as well. So if you don't see the features that I'll be demonstrating, it's most likely you can refer to your system administrator and they can walk you and update your org to make sure you have the same fields and the same buttons that I have. And just a quick introduction on myself. Welcome everyone. Thank you so much. My name is Janaya. I'm a customer service representative with Aprika Business Solutions. I've been with the team for just 3 to 4 years and the Salesforce ecosystem for 4 to 5 years as well. I'm on the US side, so anytime you submit cases to support@aprika.com, I'll be the first one to answer on our side, on our side of the world. So welcome everyone. Taking a look at our objectives today, in this session, we'll be looking at the PERT estimating functionality, which is one of our newest features. We'll make sure to cover off understanding the PERT estimating tools, which include the request estimate lightning button and the estimate wizard lightning button as well. Within the request estimating page, we will be able to request individual estimates from each of your roles or resources that are on the project or that may be outside of the project that you're working on, but maybe you want their opinion on the workload that's coming in as well. We'll also be looking at the estimate wizard, and this wizard shows you two different modes, the estimator mode and the reviewer mode. That way you can submit and complete your estimates and send them to your manager that requested it from you, or you can review it. As a manager, you can review all the estimates all together, and during your weekly catch-ups with your team, then you can get that estimate from each of your users and then finalize that together as a team. So what is the PERT estimator tool exactly? So this tool provides an efficient way of assessing the level of effort required to complete a piece of work. Typically, that's your committed work coming in, that those are your requirements and your actions. So this is going to allow you to get a calculation of what you think is going to the level of hours that you think is going to complete that work. You might have a different opinion from your coworkers or your colleagues, and that way this value and the values that you insert using the three values that we have, which are our optimistic estimate, our most likely estimate, and our pessimistic estimate. This is the formula that's going to calculate that PERT estimate value. And in that value, you'll get that value from each of your estimates from your team members, and you can calculate one final value to upsert, add into your total hours scheduled or hours scheduled not billable on your action or requirement. Please be taking notes just because we will be adding a a short quiz at the end of the call too, and so this will be important for you to take notes of or take a screenshot or just be aware of, um, and that way you'll be able to uh, pass our quiz at the end of our show here. This just helps us to make sure that users are engaged and that you fully understand the process of these features that we have. Looking at our three-step process within the PERT process, first, we'll be able to create the estimates and request those estimates from your resources. Second, we'll create those individual roles and that we'll be able to log those and complete those estimates as individual users. And lastly, as a team, we can review those estimates and finalize our PERT estimate for our actions and requirements. And this will automatically get updated to the actions themselves and whatnot, the tasks. So I won't stay too long on this page. Before we get started in the demo and walking through the three-step process, I did want to just quickly show our daily digest. And this is going to show all your estimates on a daily basis, right? So if you have your daily digest being emailed to you on a regular basis, Monday through Friday, you'll have a list of all your actions, your checklist items, maybe issues and risks that you know to be aware of. This will now be added onto the daily digest as well. It's just going to show you, hey, I got requested to complete these estimates from my manager. These are overdue. These are the estimates I need to do, and these are the maybe as a manager, I need to review certain estimates as well. So this is going to give me a quick summary overview, right? The estimates to do is just going to remind me of the estimates where the status is equal to submitted, right? So this will give me a quick snapshot as we move on. Let me just check our chat real quick. Okay, I think we're good. Let me know if anything else. Let's see. I want to make sure I am sharing the right screen. Let me know if you don't see my sandbox right now, or my dev board. Currently on the program page. As we get started, we're going to just locate where can we find the PERT estimating tools, right? For users that are more brand new to Salesforce and Mission Control, you're going to be on your project page originally. The PERT estimator tool are the two lightning buttons that the request estimate and the estimate wizard that are found on the lightning uh, lookup buttons right here. And so if we scroll down, we'll see a series of lightning buttons. You might not have as many, but these are all mission control lightning buttons. You might just have a few. Right now, I do have our two PERT estimating tools right here, and we'll walk through the three steps in order to complete this appropriately. If you don't have it, this is available on three different objects, which are the project itself, the milestone, and the program. So these actions and tasks requirements uh, are going to be you can get those estimates and you can get those estimates from request those estimates from the project, the program, and the milestone that we have here. So I've already added them onto my program and my project page layouts, these lightning buttons. But if you want to see how to add that, then you could just go to the individual backend itself, go to edit object. It's going to pull you up to the object itself. It's going to bring you to the backend, the object manager. You just want to type in milestone and add those in. We know it's AMC pertaining to program mission control. We could type in mission control, go to page layouts. From here, you might have several page layouts, so you want to make sure you're on the right one for you and your users. And then you could click the wrench icon to open up the mobile and lightning actions. This is where you can drag and drop those mobile lightning actions down to your page layout. This is the PERT Estimator wizard and request estimate. So I'm just going to type in estimate just so you can clearly see what that looks like. I like to just put PERT Estimator first, just because that does come first in the process, and then the estimate wizard second. So request estimate, that's just going to send out first. I'll request all those estimates from your users, and then the estimate wizard is going to allow you to do steps 2 and 3, where you can both complete the estimates, and as managers, you can review all estimates and finalize those values. So once you've saved that, just gonna back out of here because we're gonna come back over here later. When we are now on our milestones, we can refresh our page. That has now been added to the page layout for the milestone object. Now we see that the two lightning buttons have now been added to your milestone page. So that request estimate and estimate wizard are now located here. I'm just gonna back out of this for a moment so that we could work on our project itself. So right now we have our mission control release 1. I have a draft project here for us. I want to make sure. Okay, perfect. So as we are looking at our project, we see our different sprints. I have my overview, overhead, admin task there, and just different sprints upcoming, and just a short backlog items that I need to work on. So I have this project labeled for myself, the actions. Currently, you can tell that there's no hours assigned to any of them currently. There's not many checklist items, but I do have one under the admin. This is just going to help me to remind me, hey, we need to make sure to like complete these tasks, and I can click this to complete it automatically, right? But that's just make sure that, whoever's on this action, this project, these are the things that we need to be, that we have to make sure we do, right? And so when you are requesting the estimate themselves, this request estimate is available on those 3 projects, right? On these 3 objects, I mean. But you could also request the estimate on 2 different pages as well, which is the program planner. And it's going to give this icon of like a little pink teacup icon. So it's going to show you, if you hover over it, request estimate, because these estimates are pulling from the requirements themselves and the actions. So if we have our program pulled up, I've logged it in, we pull those up, the priority backlog. You could go ahead and request those estimates here themselves. You could type in those names and add them, and you could put in the dates. Maybe there's a due date at the end of the month. I just want to make sure, that Colin submits that request, right? So that's going to get added there. You can also find this on the program planner and the project builder. So in order to get to the program planner is found on the storyboard. If you just click on that, like we just saw, and then type and click on the icon to get to the program manager. The other way to get to the project builder on the other way is by going to the management pad from the council, and you could type in the individual, project that you're trying to look at. So let's just say we're just going to pull in that project builder. It's going to pull it right away, whatever requirements I have. I think most of my requirements are on this first project. So then you can move, these are all actions right now. This is on the project builder. But if you wanted to tag those, convert those requirements that we have on the project, convert them as actions, you can just drag and drop them over here. You can log those request estimate icon, right? So you can also request those estimates from project builder or the program planner. Now, the only way to get to the wizard itself, the estimate wizard, is by going to the project milestone or program record pages like this, and you can go into the estimate wizard. We'll go to that in just a minute, but let's say I'm a resource planner, and I have a good understanding of how many hours this is going to take. But let's say I'm not, a developer myself, but I want to get like Colin's perspective on how long it's gonna take to complete these certain actions and requirements. So if we go to our Lightning app, our quick actions, and select request estimates, open that up. This pulls up our PERT Estimator tool. This is the request estimate Lightning button. This helps us to gain a better full understanding of the level of effort required in order to complete each of the tasks, right? So you could use this for a variety of scenarios. Let's say we're working as a development team and we're trying to draft up certain codes, and we're, trying to see determine how many hours it's going to take to complete certain requirements and user stories tied to the requirements. Maybe we want to get a better estimate of what amount of time this is really going to take from the whole development team. Maybe we're trying to gather just quality testing, uh, a full scope of how long this is going to take from our quality assurance team, uh, quoting the number of hours that we're going to take to write certain articles or blogs. Maybe we want to estimate the amount of time it's going to take to complete a full sprint project, right? And so this is going to really allow you to do that using our PERT process. Uh, As we are on the request estimates page, um, automatically we're going to see this criteria model for us, which is going to filter down the displays and filter that in order for us to see that. Because if we are on the program, it'll say program project milestone. Right now we are on the project page, so it's going to automatically bring that project up. We could filter down to see specific like actions tied to certain milestones, but for now, I do want to see all actions and requirements. So I'm just going to put the display as both and load that all those, records into my view. So I do have my actions on the right-hand side. I do have my requirements down here as well. Okay, I'm just double checking. Okay, our participants and our chat. Okay. And as we are on our view here, we see automatically when I've loaded them in, I can also add in those individual users or resources. If I want to, find somebody that's not a part of our team, I do see that there's maybe a developer or, different resources that can draw in to get their perspectives uh, and add them in that way. So let's say I'm gonna go ahead and, add this delivery director and get their opinion on this estimate, what they think it's going to take. And maybe I just want to go ahead and add in all action owners and checklist item owners and to do a bulk resource update, right? So that I can add those roles. So all action owners on the project, all checklist item owners are going to be pulled in automatically. We see call it and deny it ourselves here. Um, and so you can remove them by just clicking the trash button as well. Um, from here, we can go ahead and scroll down. We can hide that criteria view so we can see more of our view on the estimated request itself. We see our actions and our task, our actions and our requirements. I do have my records to estimate, so maybe I want to just select all, and this is going to mass select all those requirements. Or maybe I, want to undo that and just select a few. I like to just make sure to just select a couple here. Uh, like our admin one and our timesheet, let's say, or we could select all. In this case, when you select these certain values on the left-hand side, and when you put in a value, let's say a deadline that we want to give to these estimate requests, I want them to get submitted by the end of the month. This little drop down button is just going to copy that down for us. So we don't have to worry about typing that in each time. So that's super helpful. But we know that, this timesheet action and this PM admin one automatically got updated together since these checkboxes allowed us to do so. Uh, for now, we'll just work through one on our call, but you could do obviously all of them so that they can get an estimate on the whole project, right? As we move forward to our right-hand side, you'll see obviously our estimate column, which just allows you to select all. Maybe you have like 10 resources on the project and you want to estimate from each of them. And this all button is just going to allow you to select all. So that selects all going horizontal, right? So it selects all those resources on the right-hand side all for you instead of you having to select each and every single one individually, one at a time. So I've selected Colin and Injani to get their opinions on this PM admin one. Let's say I'm also going to get, their opinion on this timesheet one as well, and then a due date at the end of the month. and I need their estimates done by that time, right? The warning icon will appear, and that's gonna let you know that hey, you edited some fields. You should probably save what you've been updating. Automatically, as you save that, there is a request uh, status that's letting you know that hey, you have requested these from your users. You might come back in a week later and realize, oh, I forgot to do something, and this status is going to show you, hey, you actually already requested these from your users, and but then you realize, okay, there's actually another one that I need to request, and you can do so from there as well. You can also also see this chatter icon. So if there is a, if you see that the due date has passed, and you're like, hey, Colin, like, um, make sure to get this done by the end of the day, right? And then you can go ahead and share that and chatter that, tie that to the estimate record themselves. If you don't need a value anymore, a role, then you can also delete that as I also shared. So this is pretty straightforward from the request estimate feature. We've already saved that, but I'm just going to back out of here and show you how to move on to step two, which is our completing the estimate themselves using our estimate wizard. As we are on our estimate wizard, automatically you'll see on the left-hand side our estimates to-do list, our review items, right? This is pulling from, right now I'm logged in as Janaya, right? So these are just my to-do items. We can filter those. We can, look at those setting options of what exact fields and what sorting behaviors you want to see, pagination of how many records you're seeing, request estimates, records that you're seeing at once, things like that. And there might be a good handfuls, but the moment you do submit them and complete them, they will be removed from this to-do list, right? So in order to pull up that full view, uh, right now, we'll come back to this because we'll review the review mode later on. But in order to pull that estimate request, you'll see that this first one, the eye icon, is going to open that up for us. It's going to open the workspace, but you'll see that it's grayed out. It highlights that gray value of this is the action that we're looking at. Uh, on the right-hand side, we'll see the three different sections pertaining to the workspace. And so the workspace itself is going to show the detailed information of the record. This is pertaining to the action. If I had a request, requirement record, it's going to pull that requirement pen ID number, I mean. This is just the action name, the type. These are all our default fields. So you can't necessarily edit these, but you could add more onto this uh, page. So let's say I do want to add a custom field. Let's say there's two columns, right? So you see this column one with action ID to action type, this column two with milestone to priority. So there's two field sets to control how you want to add these custom fields. It is controlled on our action object manager field sets here. If you scroll down to our estimates, you can control F and find the estimates here. You'll see that this is tied to the estimate wizard. You'll see that the column fields this is column one referring to here we go. Referring to this full column, right? See how the notes takes up the whole space left to right. This is referring to that field is that these fields that you're adding is going to take up the whole space. Whereas the column two field set is going to refer to just, maybe I want them in two different columns. And so if we go ahead and just view that real quick, I just want to show that to folks so they see how that looks like. I do have this custom field called action is mandatory. This is just going to show me that action field that I should be aware of for my users, let's say. So when I open up those review requests, I now see that that action is mandatory checkbox is now visible on my wizard page, estimate wizard page, and then so on and so forth, right? So I did the one column field set. If I wanted to add up here, I should move it to the other field set. So that just tells you the record details themselves. The second section is our estimating val the completing the estimates themselves for each of your users. Right now, I'm still logged in as Janaya. I can go ahead and I'm on the timesheet. I can give that value. I think this action working on this timesheet uh, enhancements, let's say it's going to take me anywhere from optimistically 6 hours. Let's say realistically, it's going to take me 8 hours to complete this value. So this is just like if I'm being optimistic, right? Uh, and if I'm being realistic, it might take me 8 hours. Pessimistic, okay. I don't know. I'm kind of booked right now. So let's just, on the back end, let's just pretend, if it does get really busy, it's going to take me more like 12 hours, let's say. So you could automatically save that, but it's still in requested status. So you do need to update this to draft mode if you know you're going to come back. And, I might just want to let my manager know, that, you know, likely he, 8 to 10 hours. I don't know, something quick and note to them know. Uh, and you could draft that and save that. Draft is where it hasn't been submitted yet, right? If you're just drafting, you might come back to it. You don't fully know just yet. But the moment you have a full, understanding, or you looked at the requirements more, then you can submit that on over to your manager. Once you've submitted that, it will gray out. So your manager will have these values visible to them. It will gray out so that this has already been submitted. However, if for whatever reason the due date is not for a couple more days, I want to go back and, re-update that. And, let's say this is actually like 9 hours. I don't, for whatever reason, you need to go back and update that. You can use the recall button and resubmit that, right? Recall is just letting you to go back and re-edit that. The related information page is really just going to show you all the user stories or checklist items tied to the parent, which is the requirement or the action. And this allows you to create those estimates more on a more granular level and just define those specific values and hours that you want to break down even further. We'll take a look at that at the PM admin one, so you can see how that looks like. This is currently enabled, but there's nothing here, so that's already been submitted, so I'm not going to worry about that. We know that that's been submitted. Let's see, just want to make sure. And as we open up our PM admin one, same information here. We've worked through our details. We can give it a value here, the main value on the estimate itself, or we can override the values by going to the related information. Because I know there are checklist items under this admin one for Colin and myself, however, Colin's assigned to them. Uh, Maybe I know that, on this project, even though I sent it to somebody else, I do know that this value is going to take whatever, values I'm going to insert here, right? The amount of work coming in might be amount of admin hours tied to this project in total. So as we put in those values on a granular level, currently you could do them either or, right? This is just giving it, controlling it on one level. But if you want to break it down and override that on the child level, so that the checklist items are the child object to the master to the action itself, parent record. So if we have those values here, what you can do is that you see these values roll up, right? So optimistic. Oh my gosh, my words aren't making sense right now. But this column is adding up and rolling up here, right? And then the value, same thing here, 815 gets 23. Your pessimistic estimate is going to get 9 plus 24, gets you 33. That formula, which is optim optimistic value plus, or most likely, 4 times this value plus the pessimistic value is going to give you this value divided by 6 will give you this PERT estimate of 23.4, 23.33. Uh, Individually, this is going to give you those values on an individual roll record, but if we add them up, it's going to roll up to this value. So currently, yeah, we can say that. I think this looks right about it, let's just say. And we could, instead of using these values up here, we could use this upload icon. This is going to apply this estimate up to this main value instead. So you don't really want to be putting it into values if you know that you're going to be using these values total down here to roll them up here, right? So once you've click on that, now these values will override and populate up here now because you've enabled that estimate. If you didn't enable that, you could disable that through this icon, right? But we've already uploaded this value. Whatever reason, if you wanted to disable that and you wanted to override these values, you could do that. So you could use the main estimate value, or you could override it by using the child uh, values down here, which add up to get you the total value, right? So I want to use the checklist item granular level and roll that one up. So it's going to give me roughly about 23 hours. Going to go ahead and submit that to my team, and we should be good to go. We'll come back to sec for a second. I'm just going to go in. If we look at our overview page themselves, I know that if I go to my individual actions, the estimate object can be related to obviously the requirement and the action. So I do see those estimates. Currently, I know that Colin, I gave an estimate to Colin as well. I'm not logged in as him currently, but I'm just going to show you quickly. If I wanted to manually edit those records for Colin, I'm just going to submit them on his behalf. I'm just going to say it's going to take him, he's going to think that it's going to take him this many hours. With these values, it's going to give him a total of 6.33. And that way, we're completing his values. I had already submitted mine through my wizard. So those are my values. Let's go back and check. I believe it was the timesheet. Yes. So let's submit his value as well. Okay. So now we just have some sample data to work with. I'm just going to refresh that. We are on, what is it called? Estimate Wizard. While we are here, we can pull up that page. Now, as a reviewer mode on the wizard, in order to use reviewer mode, you want to enable this enable reviewer mode. This is only accessible to you if you have this enabled on your roll record. So you want to make sure when you're updating to 1.8 that you're going to your roll records, page layouts, and adding those two fields. It's called the estimator settings here. That's brand new. The review mode and the review mode access. These are two new fields tied to the role object. You want to give users read access to these or not. It depends on you. It doesn't hurt to just let them view it. If you highlight over them, you can see what they are. It's just telling you what the fields allow you to do. It just allows you to enable reviewer mode if you're on the estimate wizard, right? And when you're on the reviewer mode, what exactly do you get access to see? Do you want access to see all records or just your individual records that you submitted, right? Uh, so let's say I'm a manager, I want to see all records. So you could go ahead and save that for each of your managers and role resources, let's say that need access to this. Uh, so I've enabled that. It's blue, it's turned on, and now I see that both of those have been submitted. Two of those from Colin and Jaya for both of these tasks. I could scroll down to see what they look like. It looks like Colin's values were here. My values are here. I see the Gemini put a quick, what is it called? Note for me. Okay, that's good to know. Uh, looks like she put in, most like it's gonna take her 9, but she does think it's gonna fall in between there. I think Colin's not too far off. Uh, so when meeting with my team on a weekly basis or daily basis, whatever that's going to look like for you, you can give that estimate and from this reviewer mode on the estimating wizard section. This can allow you to exclude. So these two sections are reviewing are in reference to the reviewer mode. The details you're aware of, the reviewer's estimate itself. This is step 3, where you are finalizing that final estimate for your task and your actions or your requirements. Right now, we are highlighting our timesheet. So they're both likely roughly the same. They pessimistic, they think it's going to take 12 hours, but more or less, it looks like they're right between 8 or 9. So our average is giving us an 8.7. That's helpful. Let's say I don't want to consider some of these users' values. Like you might have some users that just maybe aren't as technical, and so you want to remove them. This is going to exclude all values from the person that you selected. So I'm removing all values from Janaya, and we're just looking at Colin's values only right now. Let's say you obviously are excluding both. You're not going to see anybody, but let's say I do want to see Janaya's values, and I want to exclude Colin's values. It's gonna go up a little bit, right? But right now, let's leave it, and it's going to be right in between. So I'm just going to round up and say 9 hours. I think that's reasonable. I could put 8.5. So for now, let's just say 8.5 as well. Um, this is a billable right action, so I'm just going to leave that as 8.5. If we think there's admin work to do, we could put those values there. I don't think there will be. This is a billable action. I could go ahead and save that. So now that I finalized that, submitted that per value, that now gets updated to my action itself, right? The record themselves. So once you finalize and submitted that value, it will no longer be displayed in your review to-do list, estimate to review list here. So that timesheet got removed from your wizard and has now been submitted. If we go back to our project page and just refresh that quickly, scroll down to that timesheet action, you'll see Janaya, she's a timesheet. Uh, that patent action, we see that that 8 hours has been submitted, right? So that's the only one that has a value currently that we reviewed as a team that's been submitted. That value is now updated on the action themselves, right? So if we go back and we want to update this PM value now, which has these two checklist items, then we should see that value get populated here as well. Let's quickly do that. Let's go into our estimate. Let's pull up the eye icon. Same thing, we have our details of our workspace and then our actual values themselves. So it looks like Janaya has a higher value than Colin himself. I mean, Colin is more experienced, so I see that the hours are way less. However, if we want to take an average number between the two, we could stick around, 14 to 15 hours. So that seems right about right. Uh, this is just admin work, so for now, uh, let's keep it right around. Some users might be actual PM users, so I'm going to consider their values a little bit more, let's say. So I'm going to lean more towards 20 hours. That's my estimate for this estimate record for this action. The hours of cells that I want to compute will be closer to this estimate value. So I could keep it at 14, right? I mean, it's totally up to you. Uh, let's just say 15. I like the round up, round up. But I'm gonna keep that 20 hours scheduled for that uh, PM admin task. So if we go back and refresh that page, we should see that PM admin. Here we go. The total hours scheduled has now been updated and to our admin. So that completes our three-step process on the PERT estimating tools. Uh, if we go ahead and let me just move this. Do feel free to put any of your questions into our Q&A. Let me just go back to our PowerPoint real quick. I do see that, Deborah, you asked, hi, Janai, will there be a PERT diagram functionality built into the tool in this new resource, into this new release or upcoming? There isn't necessarily a diagram. If you have an idea of what you want to see, a particular view or diagram, please feel free to let us know through support@aprika.com. I can submit that feature request on your behalf. Uh, I'm not sure what exact diagram you're hoping to see. I don't know if it's like a one, two, three step that you want to see. Then we do have our knowledge base articles that walk through the three steps that show this as well. We have this Cosmo Campfire, but we don't actually have a full diagram or visual currently since it's pulling from different Lightning apps at the moment. Awesome. I don't see any other questions, so I'm gonna move on. Just our last to-do list. Before we wrap our Cosmo Campfire, we are starting a new pop-up quiz to gauge user understanding and knowledge of our retention of the topics that we just covered off and demonstrated. Whoever answers first with all the correct answers will receive an email to win Mission Control swag. So I'm just gonna actually I stated that, but let me just I think my Zoom settings keeps hiding from me. Let's see if they will show us what that looks like. Actually, my I do have my quiz, but I don't it's not showing up for me currently. I apologize. Oh, I apologize. It's not showing my poll quiz currently. So, uh, apologize. We won't be doing the quiz currently, but I do want to walk through that briefly. The quiz was just really referring to a few of the topics that we discussed, like what are the two lightning buttons, which is the request estimate button, and the estimate wizard, the lightning buttons available, the two fields on the roll record themselves to enable the reviewer mode, right? We know three steps. First, you request the estimate. Secondly, you complete the estimate. Individual users complete each of their estimates. And third, you review the estimates as a team, or resource managers complete the estimate themselves and finalize those final estimates for your actions to remove them from your wizard list. Uh, those are just the broad topics that the whole process that we talked about in order to do that. But I just wanted to highlight over that. I don't think my quiz that I had on my Zoom poll and quiz here, it's not pulling up accurately. So I do apologize for that. Typically on our last poll quiz here, I do like to ask what other topics regarding mission control would you like to see in the future for Cosmo Campfire webinars? That's always helpful for us. So if you want to type in our chat here or a Q&A here, whichever, if you want to type in what topics you would like to see in the future, that would be super helpful. We do have our racing matrix that will be coming up next month. And then we do also have our grid that will be following in the following months after that, and so on and so forth, with our new latest resource major releases with 1.8. Awesome. So this right about wraps up our Cosmo Campfire for today. If I don't see any other questions or requests, that's totally fine. If you do have other topics that you want us to review that's not relating to 1.8, that's totally fine. I would love to hear more from you. You can reach out to us at support@aprika.com and submit those requests and let us know, hey, I would love for you guys to cover off in your next Cosmo Campfire about financials or rate cards or whatever it is. I know we do have our old previous ones, but for whatever reasons, maybe there's enhancements that we made that we can make that helps us gauge what users want to hear from us as well. So I appreciate the call. Thank you so much for joining us on our Cosmo Campfire and just listening to me speak for an hour here. Apologize for my voice there. I'm just getting better from a cold after this weekend, but that wraps up our Cosmo Campfire for today. Places that you could reach out to us. Our resources here are available, our user guide, training videos, so on and so forth. Thank you for joining us on our Cosmo Campfire. I hope to see you next time. Thank you all. Bye bye.